Welcome to XP Quantum, reminding you who you are. Have you ever wondered what it means to be given a gift before you even know how rare it is? To receive wisdom, insight, and the keys to reality at a time when most people are still trying to figure out who they even are. If you're listening right now and you are 29 years old or younger, I want you to understand something that will change everything. You are ahead of schedule. You are standing in a place most people don't arrive at until their 40s, 50s, or later, when life has worn them down enough to finally ask deeper questions. But you are being handed this awareness now, and the question becomes, what will you do with it? Because being young and holding this frequency is both a gift and a challenge. A gift because you are learning how to play the game of life before most people even realize they're in one. A challenge because it can feel lonely, confusing, even overwhelming, to hold a truth so big while living in a world that still clings to smallness. And that's what we're going to open together today. By the end of this transmission, you will walk away not only with clarity about why it feels like such a paradox to be young and awake, but also with empowerment, because you'll see that the very thing that feels like a burden is the reason you are unstoppable. You'll discover the practices and insights that allow you to not only hold this awareness, but to live it fully. Now let's begin where most people are: chaos. You see, the world you were born into has trained you since the moment you could hear language to believe that your worth is external, that you must chase after money, love, approval, beauty, success, that you must fix, solve, and improve yourself in order to be worthy. And when you are young, this conditioning is at its loudest. Social media tells you you're behind. Friends tell you you're supposed to have it all figured out. Family tells you to be realistic. And the culture tells you to grind harder, move faster, hustle endlessly. It's chaos. And inside that chaos is a little voice whispering, there must be another way. You've heard it before. The moment when you're scrolling endlessly at 2 a.m, wondering why none of it feels real. The moment when you're in a group of people, smiling and laughing, but inside you're asking yourself, is this all there is? The moment when you achieve something, get the grade, get the job, get the relationship, and realize it didn't fix the emptiness you thought it would. That whisper is not weakness. That whisper is intelligence. That whisper is your higher self, calling you out of the dream and into truth. And this is the first challenge of being young and awake. Your outer world doesn't yet match your inner knowing. You know there is more. You know you are more. But the world around you keeps asking you to shrink, to compromise, to be realistic. This is where many give up. They either numb themselves or they abandon their intuition and follow the script. But not you. You're here, which means you are choosing to listen. Now let me reframe the entire struggle for you. Disruption is not a mistake. Disruption is design. Life will keep disrupting you until you remember who you are. The confusion you feel is not a flaw, it is intelligence. The chaos is not proof you are lost, it is proof reality is reorganizing around who you are becoming. Here's the truth in one line. Reality doesn't happen to you, it happens through you. And this is where science and spirit meet. In quantum physics, there is something called the observer effect. The very act of observing changes the outcome of an experiment, which means your awareness is not passive. Your awareness is creative. Just by being here, just by looking, you alter reality. Think about that. Every thought, every perception, every choice to focus is not just a private experience. It is a broadcast, a frequency sent into the field. You are not just in the world, you are the field itself. And so being young and awake means you are learning early how to be conscious of what you broadcast. Most of your peers are unconsciously sending signals of fear, doubt, insecurity, comparison. But you are waking up to the realization that you can choose your frequency. That is power. You've felt this, haven't you? That moment when you walk into a room and without saying a word, people feel you. They either open up, or they get defensive, or they suddenly become aware of themselves. That's not an accident. That's your field. That's your broadcast. And when you learn to stabilize it, when you learn to live as the frequency instead of chasing the outcome, you become magnetic. Opportunities, people, synchronicities, they find you. Not because you chase them, but because you are the field that calls them in. But let's be honest, it's not easy. Because while you're carrying this power, you're also carrying doubt. You wonder, am I too young? Am I ready? Will anyone listen? And here is where I want you to take a breath and hear me clearly. Wisdom is not about age. Wisdom is about embodiment. There are people in their 70s who have never embodied their truth. And there are people at 21 who carry lifetimes of remembrance within them. You are not here to wait. You are here to live it now. Now let me ground this for you. Science tells us the human brain has different states: beta, alpha, theta, delta. When you are in beta, you are in survival mode, alert, stressed, analyzing. Most of society lives here. But when you drop into alpha and theta, the brain becomes coherent. Creativity flows, healing happens, the body relaxes, and the mind opens to possibility. This is not just neuroscience, it is quantum coherence. Your field becomes organized, your energy stabilizes, and reality starts to bend in your favor. This is why embodiment matters more than affirmation. If you just say, I am abundant, I am powerful, but you are still vibrating fear, you are not broadcasting truth. But if you sit, breathe, and feel the frequency of abundance in your body, calm, expansive, certain, then every cell in your being becomes that truth, and reality has no choice but to reflect it. You see, the challenge of being young with this awareness is that the world will try to talk you out of it. They will tell you you're delusional. They will tell you to be practical. They will tell you to wait until you're older. But I am here to remind you, reality bends for those who embody truth now. You are not ahead of schedule. You are the schedule. So what do you do with this? Let's start simple. Every day, choose to practice being the frequency, not chasing the result. That might look like waking up and before you touch your phone, you breathe and expand your chest as if you already are everything you desire. That might look like walking into a room and instead of trying to impress, you broadcast peace and presence. That might look like writing one word in your journal each morning, a word that embodies the frequency you are living that day. Love, power, flow, abundance. One word, one embodiment, one broadcast. Because the truth is, life is not asking you to figure everything out. Life is asking you to remember who you are and broadcast it fully. This is just the beginning. You see, once you begin to live as the frequency instead of chasing the result, life itself changes texture. What once felt heavy begins to feel lighter. What once seemed impossible begins to flow. This is not fantasy, and it is not magic. It is coherence. It is resonance. It is the science of vibration meeting the wisdom of your soul. Think about music for a moment. If you strike a tuning fork and place it next to another tuning fork of the same note, the second one begins to vibrate without being touched. That is resonance. Your frequency works the same way. When you embody a coherent state of peace, love, or abundance, the environment around you cannot help but begin to shift. People either rise into resonance with you, or they step away. This is why you may notice that certain friendships fall away as you grow. It is not rejection, it is resonance. You are vibrating differently now, and not everyone will be able to stay in that field. And here is the second challenge of being young and awake. You will be misunderstood. Not because you are wrong, but because you are carrying wisdom that others have not yet remembered in themselves. They may laugh, they may dismiss you, they may say you are too young to know. But what they don't realize is that truth has no age. Alignment has no timeline. When you remember this, loneliness transforms into leadership. Instead of asking, "Why don't they see me?" you begin to ask, "How can I embody even more deeply so they feel what is possible through me?" Because people may not always listen to your words, but they will feel your field. Now let me take you deeper into the science. In quantum physics, we have the principle of superposition. It means that before something is observed, it exists as multiple possibilities at once. The electron is not here or there, it is both, and it collapses into one reality when it is observed. Your life works the same way. At this moment, there are infinite versions of you existing in potential. The confident one, the fearful one, the successful one, the one who gives up, the one who thrives. They all exist in superposition. But the moment you embody a frequency, when you choose alignment, you collapse reality into one version. This is why identity matters so much. Who you decide you are broadcasts into the field and selects the version of reality you step into. It is not about forcing outcomes, it is about embodying identity. So ask yourself, who am I being today? Am I broadcasting fear? Am I broadcasting scarcity? Or am I broadcasting the version of me that already knows everything is flowing in my favor? When you wake up and choose identity, you are collapsing reality into coherence. And here's the secret most people never realize. You don't need to believe it fully to broadcast it. You just need to embody it. Feel it for 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 90 seconds in your body, and your field begins to organize. It is practice. Just as a musician practices scales until the notes become natural, you practice frequency until it becomes who you are. Now let me tell you a story. There was once a young man who felt the same doubt you feel. He looked at the world and thought, who am I to make a difference? Who am I to teach, to lead, to create? And so he hid. He worked jobs he didn't love, stayed in relationships that didn't align, and played small because he believed that was safer. But inside, he kept feeling a pull, an inner whisper that said, "You are meant for more." One day, he decided to test the whisper. Instead of asking, "What do I have to do?" he asked, "Who do I need to be?" He chose one word, radiance. For 1 week, every morning, he breathed into his body until he felt radiant. He walked through the day embodying radiance. He spoke with radiance. He sat at his desk with radiance. He ate with radiance. And do you know what happened? In that 1 week, without forcing, opportunities showed up. A friend introduced him to someone who needed his skills. A stranger commented on his energy and asked to collaborate. People began to notice him not for what he was doing, but for what he was being. That young man realized the truth. Identity is frequency, and frequency is destiny. You can live this too. You don't need to wait. You don't need permission. You don't need proof. You only need to broadcast. Now let's go deeper. Why is it that so many people resist this teaching? Because the mind is addicted to control. The human ego believes that safety comes from certainty, from plans, from knowing exactly what will happen. But the quantum field is not linear. It is not predictable in the way the ego demands. It is responsive, fluid, alive. Which means surrender is not weakness, it is alignment. Disruption is intelligence. Chaos is guidance. Randomness is not a mistake. It is the intelligence of the vacuum, the fluctuations of the field reorganizing your path to align with your highest broadcast. Think of quantum tunneling. An electron can move through a barrier it should not be able to cross. The math says it shouldn't happen, but it does. Why? Because reality itself bends for the particle when coherence is high enough. This is you. Obstacles that seem immovable dissolve when you embody frequency deeply enough. What looks impossible in the 3D is simply a reorganization in the 5D. You are a quantum being, and when you remember that, nothing is too big for you. So let's get practical. Here are 3 practices you can use every day to stabilize your field. First, the observer breath. Sit for 3 minutes. Close your eyes and instead of controlling your breath, simply observe it. Feel it as if you are the scientist watching the experiment. Notice how, as you observe, your breath begins to deepen naturally. That is coherence. That is you as the observer effect. Second, the expansion compass. Each time you face a choice, big or small, ask yourself, does this expand me or contract me? Expansion is the voice of alignment. Contraction is the voice of fear. Choose expansion, and you stay coherent. Third, anchor scripting. Each morning, write one sentence in the present tense as your anchor. I am the frequency of flow. I am the broadcast of abundance. I am the field of peace. Then live that sentence throughout the day. Simple, repeatable, powerful. And here's what will happen. As you practice, you will notice synchronicities multiplying. The right person calls you at the right time. A random video gives you the answer you needed. Money flows from unexpected places. Opportunities show up out of nowhere. This is not coincidence. This is coherence. This is you living as the field. Now let's touch the heart of it. Being young with this awareness is not about being perfect. It's about being willing to embody, willing to trust, willing to step into the unknown even when others doubt you. The universe does not require your perfection. It requires your participation. And here's the paradox. The more you stop trying to control, the more life aligns for you. The more you stop chasing, the more life flows to you. The more you let go of needing to be older, wiser, or more experienced, the more your wisdom shines now. You are not here to wait until later. You are here to live now. And so let me leave you with this before we continue deeper. Your age does not define your wisdom. Your embodiment does. Your past does not define your future. Your frequency does. Your environment does not define your destiny. Your broadcast does. You are not too young. You are precisely on time. You are not behind. You are the schedule. This is your reminder. Life is not asking you to prove yourself. Life is asking you to broadcast yourself. And when you do, reality cannot help but rearrange itself in your favor. This is where we begin to step from personal awakening into collective awakening. Because as you embody your truth now, you are not just transforming your life, you are anchoring a new frequency into the field for everyone. And that is the true gift of being young and awake. When you begin to realize that your frequency shapes your personal reality, the next natural step is to recognize something even bigger. Your frequency shapes the collective reality too. Because you are not isolated, you are entangled. In quantum physics, entanglement means that two particles, once connected, remain linked no matter how far apart they are. What happens to one is instantly reflected in the other. This is not science fiction. It is experiment after experiment. Distance doesn't matter. Time doesn't matter. The connection is beyond space. And here's the truth. Your consciousness is entangled with the collective. The moment you embody a higher frequency, you ripple that frequency out to every being. This means your personal awakening is never just personal. It is planetary. And this is why it matters that you are young and awake now. Because the sooner you embody, the longer your lifetime will radiate this field into the collective. Every year, every action, every interaction becomes a broadcast that uplifts. You may not always see the results, but they are there. Like the butterfly effect, where the flap of wings can alter weather patterns across the globe, your embodied frequency alters timelines. But let me tell you the challenge of this awareness. The more awake you become, the more intense life can feel. Mission intensity matches life intensity. The reason your emotions feel stronger, the reason your synchronicities come faster, the reason your challenges sometimes feel heavier is because your mission is alive in you. Life does not test you to break you. Life tests you to stretch you into the capacity needed for your mission. This is why you sometimes feel like you are too much or not enough all at once. It's not because something is wrong with you. It's because your mission is already burning within you, and the intensity of that fire is shaping you into coherence. And here's the paradox. The very intensity you want to run from is the key to your expansion. So let's reframe it. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" begin asking, "How is this happening through me?" Because every disruption is a doorway, every challenge is a reorganization. Every heartbreak, every rejection, every seeming failure is intelligence bending reality to align with your broadcast. Think about synchronicity. That moment when you think of someone and they text you. That moment when you're searching for an answer and a video appears with exactly what you needed. That moment when a so-called coincidence lines up too perfectly to be random. Synchronicity is the language of the field. It is how the quantum communicates with you. And when you are young and awake, synchronicities multiply. Because you are more sensitive. You are more open. You are more available. But here's the key. Synchronicity is not just something to marvel at. It is something to follow. It is guidance. It is your compass. So practical mysticism. Instead of forcing decisions with logic alone, begin to track your synchronicities. Write them down. Notice patterns. Pay attention to the nudges, the repetitions, the dreams, the recurring symbols. The field is speaking to you, and the more you pay attention, the louder it gets. Now, let me ground this with a story. There was a young woman who felt lost. She had awakened early, but she didn't know what to do with it. She felt disconnected from her friends, misunderstood by her family, unsure of her future. One night, she asked for a sign. The next morning, she kept seeing butterflies on her walk, on her phone, in conversations. At first, she dismissed it, but after the fifth butterfly in 2 days, she paid attention. She looked it up. Transformation, rebirth. The butterfly became her anchor. Each time doubt returned, she looked for the butterfly, and every time she saw it, she remembered, "I am becoming. I am transforming." She began to trust the process, even when it felt uncertain, and slowly her life began to align. Opportunities flowed, relationships healed, her sense of mission crystallized. The butterfly was never just a symbol, it was synchronicity speaking. So let me ask you, what synchronicities have been speaking to you? What signs, patterns, or nudges have been repeating in your life? They are not random, they are your quantum compass. Now let's go deeper into surrender. Surrender has been misunderstood. People think it means giving up, doing nothing, being passive. But surrender in the quantum sense is active participation. It is aligning with the flow of intelligence rather than fighting it. It is knowing when to act and when to allow. It is trusting that what looks like loss may be reorganization. Consider decoherence. The moment in quantum physics when a system falls out of coherence and appears classical, ordinary, predictable. When we resist, when we fight, when we cling, we create decoherence in our own lives. Reality becomes heavy, predictable, stuck. But when we surrender, when we open, when we allow, we restore coherence. We step back into the flow of intelligence. So the practice is this. Whenever you feel stuck, ask yourself, where am I resisting? And then breathe, release control, come back to the body, feel expansion, and trust the field is reorganizing. Here's the truth. The field is not against you. The field is you. Now, being young with this awareness means you will sometimes feel the urgency of wanting to arrive. You'll feel the pressure of needing to figure it all out now. But remember, the journey is the embodiment. The mission is not a destination. It is a frequency you carry each day. So let me give you another tool, identity anchoring. Choose one word that embodies your mission, not the career, not the title, but the essence. Maybe it's light, maybe it's flow, maybe it's freedom, maybe it's love. Let that word become your North Star. Each time you forget, come back to it, whisper it, feel it, embody it. That word is your mission condensed into vibration. And here's what happens. As you embody your word, the universe brings you opportunities that match it. You don't chase the mission. The mission unfolds through you. This is how the personal awakening scales into collective awakening. You don't have to save the world. You simply embody coherence, and coherence ripples outward. Let me remind you, You are entangled with all of us. Your broadcast shapes the field we all live in. Every act of coherence you embody makes it easier for the next person to remember. Every moment you live as your true self creates resonance that pulls others forward. This is why your age is not a limitation, it is leverage. The earlier you embody, the longer you ripple. The more you ripple, the more the collective rises. So breathe this in. You are not just living your life, you are anchoring a new timeline for humanity. This is the magnitude of your gift. So now you understand that your awakening is not only personal but collective, and that your mission is carried in your frequency, not just in your actions. The natural next question becomes, how do I live this daily? How do I embody truth, not just in moments of meditation, but in the ordinary, chaotic, messy moments of life? Because awakening is not about escaping life. It is about embodying your truth inside of it. This is where practical mysticism begins. Mysticism without practice is just inspiration. Practice without mysticism is just routine. But when you bring the two together, you create a life that is coherent, magnetic, and alive. So let's begin with the foundation, your body. Your body is not just a vessel. It is an instrument. It is the antenna through which your frequency is broadcast into the field, which means embodiment is not optional. It is essential. When your body is tense, contracted, stressed, your signal is scrambled. When your body is relaxed, open, coherent, your signal is pure. This is why daily embodiment practices matter. They don't need to be complicated. They don't need to take hours. They simply need to tune your instrument. Here are 5 practices to begin anchoring now. First, the observer breath. We touched on this earlier, but now let's deepen it. Sit for 3 to 5 minutes each morning. Close your eyes. Instead of forcing a rhythm, simply observe your breath as if it were a friend you are listening to. Notice how it moves. Notice where it feels shallow, where it feels deep. And here's the key. Do not try to change it. Just observe. You will notice that as you observe, the breath naturally deepens and lengthens. That is the observer effect in action. Awareness reorganizes reality. Second, the expansion compass. Throughout your day, notice the subtle difference between expansion and contraction. Expansion feels like openness in the chest, lightness in the body, a sense of possibility. Contraction feels like tightness, heaviness, closing. Before making a choice, pause and ask, does this expand me or contract me? Expansion is alignment. Contraction is resistance. Choose expansion, and you stay coherent. Third, the frequency word. Each morning, choose one word that embodies the frequency you are broadcasting that day. Love, freedom, flow, power. Write it on a piece of paper. Keep it in your pocket. Set it as your phone wallpaper. Each time you see it, breathe it into your body. Embody it, even for just a moment. One word, one broadcast, one frequency field. Fourth, the coherence walk. When you step outside, instead of scrolling on your phone or rushing, walk with intention. Feel each step grounding you into the earth. Feel your heart radiating into the field. Walk as if your every step is broadcasting peace. Imagine the ground lighting up beneath you. This is not fantasy, it is quantum imprinting. You are leaving a trail of coherence behind you. Fifth, the anchor sentence. At night, before sleep, write one sentence that affirmed from the mind but from embodiment. Today I lived as flow. Today I broadcast love. Today I remembered who I am. Let this sentence be the last vibration you carry into sleep, because your subconscious continues to broadcast it through the night. Simple, repeatable, powerful. And now let's step into dimensional living. Most people live locked in 3D. Three-dimensional living is survival. Money, security, comparison, approval, control. It is the realm of fear and competition. But awakening opens the doorway to 4D, the dimension of mind, belief, and imagination. In 4D, you realize your thoughts shape reality. Affirmations, visualization, intention, all powerful, but still mental. Then comes 5D. Five-dimensional living is not about thinking, it is about being. It is coherence. It is identity as frequency. It is love as intelligence. In 5D, you no longer chase outcomes. You embody truth, and reality reorganizes. You don't just think abundance, you radiate abundance. You don't just affirm peace, you broadcast peace. And here's the secret. You are not meant to abandon 3D or 4D. You are meant to integrate. You can handle money, careers, relationships in 3D while remembering your power in 4D and embodying love in 5D. True mastery is dimensional fluidity, moving between layers without being trapped in any of them. This is practical mysticism, paying bills with 3D clarity, setting intentions with 4D focus, broadcasting frequency with 5D embodiment, all at once. And when you live this way, something extraordinary happens. Reality becomes lighter. The things you once thought were heavy become opportunities to broadcast. That annoying coworker becomes an invitation to embody peace. That unexpected bill becomes a reminder to embody abundance. That heartbreak becomes a call to embody love. Nothing is wasted. Everything is practice. Now let's talk about identity. Your false self is the one you built to be safe. The mask, the persona, the one who tries to fit in. It is useful in childhood but heavy in adulthood. Your true self is the one that is infinite, timeless, coherent. It is the self that doesn't need proving. It is the self that simply is. Every time you embody your true self, you broadcast coherence. Every time you collapse back into the false self, you broadcast contraction. The work is not to destroy the false self, but to recognize it and return gently to truth. So here's a practice. Each time you feel triggered, instead of reacting, pause and ask, who is responding right now? The false self or the true self? The false self will always respond with fear. The true self will always respond with expansion. Choose expansion. Choose truth. And let me remind you, you don't have to be perfect at this. Embodiment is not about never slipping. It is about always returning. The moment you return, coherence is restored. Now let's touch integration. Integration means making this your story. Too often, awakening stays in the mind. You understand the concepts, but you don't live them. Integration means weaving truth into your narrative. Instead of saying, I am trying to become abundant, you say, I am remembering that I already am abundance. Instead of saying, I am learning to be confident, you say, I am remembering the confidence that is my nature. It is not about becoming. It is about remembering. So here's your integration tool. Each morning, write one sentence that begins with, I remember that I am, and fill in the blank. I remember that I am love. I remember that I am peace. I remember that I am infinite. These sentences anchor you not in effort, but in remembrance. And remembrance is coherence. And so here is the one-sentence identity anchor I offer you now. I remember that I am the field, not a part of the field, not separate from it, the field itself. Breathe that in, because when you remember this, you realize abundance is not something to chase, it is who you are. Love is not something to find, it is what you are. Power is not something to earn, it is what you are. You are the field. And when you live from that remembrance, reality organizes itself around your truth. This is the practice. This is the embodiment. This is the way. So now we arrive at the closing of this transmission. But I want you to feel this clearly. Nothing ends here. What you have received today is not a conclusion. It is a beginning, a remembering, a doorway. Because when you know that you are the field, you stop living as though life is happening outside of you. You stop waiting for proof, for permission, for age, for credentials. You stop outsourcing your power to the world around you. Instead, you stand in coherence. You breathe into remembrance. You live as if the frequency is already here, because it is. And yet, let me reassure you, there will still be days of doubt. There will still be moments where the false self takes the wheel, where the chaos of the world feels louder than the whisper of your truth. And that's okay. That's part of the practice. Awakening is not about never forgetting. It's about always remembering. Every time you return to remembrance, you strengthen coherence. Every time you breathe through the contraction and choose expansion, you reinforce the field. Every time you whisper your frequency word into your body, you remind the universe who you are. So let me anchor you now in the new story. Your story is not that you are too young. Your story is that you are precisely on time. Your story is not that you are lost. Your story is that reality is reorganizing through you. Your story is not that you must chase abundance. Your story is that you are abundance. Breathe that in. Because this is not just inspiration. It is physics. It is coherence. It is reality responding to identity. And this is where we come back to the collective. Because every act of remembrance is not just for you. It is for us all. Each time you remember, you create a resonance field that makes it easier for others to remember. Each time you embody, you stabilize the collective field. Each time you choose coherence, you anchor a new timeline. This is how the world changes. Not through force, not through convincing, not through control, but through coherence rippling outward. Through one awakened being embodying truth and entangling the collective. So let me ask you, what is the one word you will broadcast now? The one frequency you will live as your identity, your mission, your reminder. Choose it. Whisper it. Feel it. Live it. That word is your compass. That word is your field. That word is your remembrance. And as you carry it, remember this. You are not behind. You are not early. You are not late. You are the schedule. You are the broadcast. You are the field. So the next time doubt arises, come back to this sentence. I remember that I already am. Already abundance. Already love. Already power. Already infinite. And from that remembrance, breathe, expand, and live. Because life is not asking you to chase anything. Life is asking you to broadcast who you are. And as you do, reality will bend in your favor. The right people will appear. The right opportunities will align. The right doors will open. Not because you forced them, but because you remembered who you are. So here is your final reassurance. You are safe to live this truth now. You are ready. You are capable. You are supported by the field itself. This is XP Quantum. Remember, you already are.